Hey, folk, welcome to the third episode of the VoiceIT Show. First of all, we'd like to thank you all for your amazing response to the previous two episodes. And today we are here with the third one. I'm so glad that, and first of all, it's such a huge pleasure and such a huge honor for us that we have Michael Alago on our show today. Honestly, when I watched his movie, Who the Fuck is That Guy on Netflix, I was completely blown away because the movie is all about his crazy life as an A&R executive for almost 26 years, 26 plus year, where he's signed bands like Metallica, White Zombies, Cyndi Lauper, Simone. And later in his life, he was oppressed with full-blown AIDS, and it was a time when even proper medication wasn't available. But miraculously, he survived through all that. And it's such he's such an inspiration, and we are so glad that we have him today with us to tell the story. We love his energy. We love Michael, and he's such a darling. I know you guys will love him too, and I know you guys are waiting for him. So before I call him in, I want to call my co-hosts. So let's welcome your Rebecca and your funky Almedina.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
What's up?
We're good.
You're good. You know what? This is such a deja vu moment for me because a few weeks ago, okay, let me tell this to the audience too. Like 2 weeks ago, or right after the in the trenches with Ryan Roxy, we were doing this thing on Instagram Live, and we thought maybe we should come up with a show And today, right after the trenches, we are doing the show live with Michael Alago. How great is that?
Yeah, like I
So,
remember that day you actually that it was my live stream and then like you were like, "Oh, you should call it the After Trenches or something like was it Tuesday, live stream
yeah,
Tuesday, something like that. I don't know. But it was fun and I'm
exactly.
glad we did this. I'm really glad we did this.
Yeah, exactly. So now let's welcome, without any further ado, our special guest for today, the iconic Michael Alago.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the
Nice
VoiceIT
to
Show,
be
Michael.
here from my quarantined New York apartment.
Oh wow.
That's great. So how's
So
the
how are
quarantine
you?
life treating you?
I'm sorry, what?
Who are
How are
you?
you on this quarantine?
Oh, pretty good. You know, I like my solitude. I'm a person who knows how to stay busy. So right now, excuse me, I've been promoting my book, and if I'll be shameless just for 1 minute. It's called I Am Michael Alago: Breathing Music, Signing Metallica, Beating Death. So that's available on Amazon.com. So when I'm not doing interviews, radio interviews, podcasts online, I'm doing creative writing. I'm making collages. I am just sitting on my terrace when the sun is shining and just sit there to just relax. So, you know, not a lot of my routine has changed because I like staying home anyway. And since I know
Right.
that we are not having any concerts in the near or theater in the near future, I just make the most of every day.
Oh
That's
wow.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
great to know, you know.
It's great that you don't like you're okay on being inside your home because you like it. That's good because some people don't like it. Like they're going crazy because they can't get out of their
Yeah,
house.
I mean, I understand that too, but there's also people who always feel like they need to be in a relationship also, because then they're not complete. You know, I never, I don't know where to go with this. You know, that's just not me. I like my own solitude. I like being with myself. I've only learned to like being myself in recent years. And, you know, that's okay. And like I said, I know how to keep myself creative and busy. And, you know, right now with this pandemic, we really do have to be very, very careful if we go outside. And you know, I always tell people you have to wear a mask, you have to wear gloves, you have to sanitize your hands, because you know, I've heard of people in the neighborhood or online that you hear of them being sick on Wednesday, and on Monday they're dead.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. You know, certain people think the media is exaggerating. And yes, sometimes the media exaggerates. It's part of their job, but it's a real thing, unfortunately.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It's true.
Yeah, we are really sorry for your loss. We watched the coffee talk and heard what you were saying. So yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, it's just it's nuts out there. But you know, we
Yeah.
just have to do the best that we can. Excuse me. We have to take care of ourselves, and you know, we'll get through it. It's just not right this very minute, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
true. It's true.
It's,
All right.
it's just crazy. This
Like,
all.
yeah. By the way, so this show is only like it's only about you, Michael. So feel free to promote yourself as much as
Yeah.
you want to.
Yes.
Like your book, your movie, everything. It's all about you.
Okay.
We are gonna do that. We are gonna do that.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Sure.
All right. So let me talk a little bit about uh, your yesterday's live, Michael. It was amazing on Instagram Live, and you found a book plate.
I did. So now,
You want to tell us something
okay,
about that?
hold on one second.
Sure.
Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, well, I could, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you were talking about, book plates. People used to make book plates in the early 1900s in their books. And because people have purchased my memoir, and everybody wants a signature, and it's just not possible right now. So I found this boxer. I found this boxer from the 1930s, and his name is Jimmy Jones, and he's from Youngstown, Ohio. Now he's probably dead now, God forgive me, but 1930s he was cute. So we just decided to make a book plate that would just not be like a regular book plate. So I found this thing. I made stickers.
Right.
And when I send them to everybody, they will have my signature for the book that they purchased.
How cool is that?
Wow.
And it's just, I just like, I didn't realize he comes from Youngstown, Ohio. And back in the day, when I used to go to CBGB as a teenager, there was a punk band called the Dead Boys, and they were from Youngstown, Ohio. So I just thought, all right, it sounds appropriate. So this will be the book plate. And, you could just, I'll show you. This is just a sample because I read from this book all the time. So I just stuck it in my book so that you could see what it looks like. And it's pretty cool. So, yeah.
You're going to sign yourself.
I'm sorry?
So you all that buy his book, you're going to receive this. And that's pretty cool. That's very original, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, I try, it's like I never liked bands that played follow the leader. And I never was a person who followed anybody else. There's that old fashioned saying, something about marching to the beat of your own tune. And I just kind of did that. And that served me well my whole life, or most of my life.
Right. Cool is that? Yeah.
Okay, I guess some people are saying hello for you. Ken, can you put?
Yes, I'll put up. Okay.
Get to the beginning.
I have to go through this moment.
Sure.
Oh wow.
In the meanwhile, I'd like to talk about, I'd like to dive deep into the metal zone. And I know everyone out there is excited to hear about it. And well, I'm personally very much excited about it. Shall we talk about Metallica?
Well, I'm sure that's most of the reason why everybody wants to talk to me. Other than that, I've had an interesting life, I never planned this life, of course, because we can't plan anything. But I always knew as a young person in Brooklyn that I wanted to be in the music business. But what does that mean to a 15-year-old in Brooklyn? I didn't play any instruments, and I just loved music. And I used to watch television all the time, and we had these great shows on television called American Bandstand, Soul Train, and Don Kirshner's Midnight Special. And on all those shows, I got to see a number of different types of artists on those shows. So at an early age, my ears were informed not just of one type of music. And so that was just kind of great. Let's see. We're going to fast forward a little, and it's 1979, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm going to college, and I'm working in a pharmacy. And I knew about a newspaper called The Village Voice. It was a weekly newspaper, and it had everything in there from music, art, theater, pornography, politics. I hated politics. I just liked all the rest of the stuff. So I just knew about shows because I would check the music sections every week. Now I know that's not what you asked me, but
hey, that's okay.
That was I didn't know, but at 19 years old, that was going to be the beginning of my career in the music business. And that happened because I was taking lunch one day, and I was walking down a street in the East Village, East 11th Street, and I saw a beautiful Art Deco building. And that Art Deco building was going to be opening up as a little sign, a little white sign on the door said Video Club. And I thought, oh, this sounds very interesting. So I went inside and I looked around, and it was as beautiful as a 1920s Art Deco ballroom. So there was a gentleman in the balcony, and I like to say it was like the Wizard of Oz. And he asked me what I wanted. And I said, well, I would like a job. And he said, well, do you have a resume? And I said, I have no resume at all. I just go to school. Well, he thought there was some humor in that. So I went to his office, and we started talking about music. We talked about all kinds of music, from the 1930s, the Great American Songbook, to that year, 1980, to what was being played on the radio, to what was happening in the underground New York music scene. He liked everything that I had to say. And he said, you know what, kid? I'm going to give you a job. You're going to open my mail, you're going to answer my phone, and you're going to get my lunch. And I thought, wow, I guess that's the beginning of my life in music. And it really was, even though, you know, I was like a young kid who was an assistant. But you know what? That was really the precursor. That was the beginning of what I was going to go on to do for almost the next 25, 30 years. So it was really a wonderful starting point to work at this place called The Ritz, which a lot of people know present day as, I don't even remember what the friggin' place is called. Not the Bowery Ballroom. Oh my God, what's it called right now? It's not called The Ritz anymore. It is called what? Forget it. Anyway, I worked there from 1980 to 1983. I learned a lot from this man, Jerry Brandt. I listened to all his phone calls. I was a sponge. I was absorbing everything that it took to book a nightclub that held about 1,500 people. And I learned that rather quickly. So for the 3 years I was there, I was an assistant music director. And then after that, I started my life as an A&R executive. So I don't know. I know I didn't answer your question yet.
No, come on, it's okay. We're here to listen. Yeah, we love this story. So you then went ahead and you started Electra in 83, is that right?
Sure. I was at the Ritz for 3 years, and I knew that there was more out there. Again, I didn't know what more meant. So I was going out with this guy named Mitchell, and he said, you know, my dad is leaving Warner Brother Records, and he's going to restart Elektra Records. Now, Elektra Records was in the garbage can. Previous management didn't keep it up to par. So I met with this gentleman, Bob Krasnow, who was going to become the chairman of the company. I had the same conversation with Bob that I had with Jerry Brandt at the Ritz. The only added feature to that was, besides contemporary music, we talked about art, because Bob was very interested in the art scene, especially in the up-and-coming art scene in New York. That was Keith Haring, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Robert Longo, Richard Hambleton, and we talked for about an hour. And he said, very nice to meet you. I will call you in the next 2 weeks. So 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from Bob, and he said, "I'm going to hire you." And I had no idea. I said, "Thank you." And he said, "You're going to be in the A&R department." And I had no idea what to say except thank you. He hung up the phone. I had to call a friend of mine in the music business. I said, "What does A&R mean?" And he said, "Oh, why are you asking me this?" I said, "Because I'm in the A&R department at Elektra soon." And A&R means artist and repertoire. The A&R department at a record company is the most important department at the record company. If you do not have great artists and you do not make great records, then it's pointless and you get fired.
Right.
So my instincts were very good from a very early age. Over the next 25 years, I listened to a lot of cassette tapes, a lot of independent vinyl, and I heard really bad stuff, I heard good stuff, and I heard a little bit of great stuff. And I had to hone in my skills to know that, you know, I wasn't going to work with anybody rotten. I wasn't going to work with anybody good because there's too many good people out there. But I had to find greatness in people. So to answer your question in a very long-winded way, I heard about Metallica in 1982. I saw them at L'Amour in Brooklyn with my friend Philip Caivano from Monster Magnet, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I made friends with...
That's when you saw James Hetfield for the first time, right?
I saw them live for the very first time and sometime in 1982 at L'Amour in Brooklyn. In my mind, I wanted to book them at the Ritz. That never happened. Life goes on. I then hear about that they're on an independent label called Megaforce. So I made friends with Johnny Z. We became colleagues, and his little independent label could not really afford to make any of these artists to the next level. So to make a long story short, and I tell the story in my book as well, and I've told this story for 30 years now, but that's okay. So I hear the record Kill 'Em All. I hear the record Kill 'Em All, and it just blew my mind. I went to see them in San Francisco in '83 at a small venue called The Stone. I give Lars my business card, and at some point in '84, he calls and he said, "Are you still interested in us?" And I said, "Absolutely." I said, "I know that you're on a small label, but if you want to be with Elektra, I want you to be on Elektra." So fast forward again, August of 1984, Lars calls and says, "We're playing with Raven and Anthrax at Roseland. Will you come?" Absolutely. So that was the night that changed the course of my life and changed the course of Metallica's life. I worked for a major label. I could afford to do what needed to happen with them. They were creating an extraordinary underground buzz in the metal music scene. Wow. People loved them. This was not about radio or anything commercial. It was about young people. Hold on. I think I have it here. 1 second, please.
How cool.
That I don't knock everything over. This was about young people out there handing out flyers saying, "Come see my band." So at one point, I got this little demo tape called No Life Till Leather that featured like a whole bunch of Metallica tracks. So between Kill 'Em All, between this, I knew I had to have these people in my life. So the day after Roseland, they came up to my office. They were in the conference room. Our chairman introduced himself to them. And not to be silly or corny, it felt like they never left my office. I wound up signing them. It was a signing that changed the course of music history. It was a signing that made such a big difference in the hard rock and metal community. And it was a signing that other A&R people wanted to follow my lead and find their own version of Metallica. But that doesn't happen. There are other great bands out there, but there's only one Metallica.
Wow. Wow. So I watched your documentary, and I saw like this picture of you with Nina Simone, and I got like, wow, that's so crazy. And you worked with her doing songs, right?
Yes. Let's see. And I'll even show you. There's a lot of good pictures, if I may say so myself. There's a lot of good pictures in my book, but this is one of my favorite pictures of.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Oops, me. And how do I do this? I do this like, you know what? I'm a mess. Me.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And the great Nina Simone. Yes, I love Nina Simone. Nina Simone to me was the greatest artist that ever walked the planet Earth. Nina Simone was a singer who knew how to take songs and make them her own. She would sing George Harrison songs like Here Comes the Sun. She would sing a Bob Dylan song like Just Like a Woman. She knew how to get to the heart of a song, how to get to the heart of the matter of what a song meant. And then she just made this material her very own. She was a very unique character. She really was one of a kind. She was troubled sometimes. She was lonely, and she was an extraordinary woman. We became friends the last 15 years or so of her life, and I got to make a very beautiful record with her called A Single Woman. Excuse me.
Wow.
And it's about love and loneliness and loss. And it's such a sad record. I didn't want the record to come out that sad, but it did. And it's with a 50-piece orchestra, and it was the last recording that she ever made before she passed away in 2003.
Oh my God. Well, I guess the thing, it's not like, oh, it's sad or something like that. It's the thing is, like, if it touches someone, if the songs can't, like, you know, make someone cry or be happy or something like that.
Sure.
You know, so many songs I've heard of her, I get like, oh my God, how wonderful that woman was. She's a warrior. Oh my God, I've seen her her documentary, and she's a wow. I don't have words for this. You know, I don't have words for her.
She was certainly one of a kind. She was one of those people that the second you heard her voice, you knew it was her. And like I said, you know, she could take any kind of song in the contemporary pop music field or old songs from the 30s and 40s and just make them her own. And for people who are watching, if you never saw Nina Simone, there's plenty of clips of her on YouTube. And there's a well, it's not so famous. Well, the song is famous. She wrote a song called Mississippi Goddamn during the Civil Rights Movement. And it's about Dr. King. It's about the Alabama. Oh, my brain came back. It's about the riots in Alabama, and so she wrote this song called Mississippi Goddamn. There's a lot of versions of it on YouTube. There's one from the Netherlands in 1965 that is fabulous. So if your listeners don't know about Nina Simone and they want to start somewhere, start on YouTube with Mississippi Goddamn, because there's a lot of fire in that rendition of the song.
It's crazy how she did this song in years that, woman couldn't speak, woman couldn't do anything, like, so it's just crazy how she did that, like you know, talking about whatever she wanted to, swearing and you know, doing the songs. It's just incredible.
Well, she always talked about no fear, having no fear.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
she certainly had no fear. And that's why she was and became the artist that she was.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I think I saw somebody pop up and they said Metallica rocks. Of course Metallica rocks.
Yeah.
They're incredible. One of a kind band.
Yeah, that's crazy. They're good.
Yeah, so Michael, can you tell us like one of the most interesting stories of your life, like besides all these you told now?
I'm sorry, interesting stories in my life? Like,
Yeah.
like what part of my life?
I don't know. Like the
Like
stories that you think are the most
the part,
interesting.
like the part of the, you know, drugs and party and, you know, this type of stuff.
Well, you know, I think, and I don't want to not answer your question, but what and when you ask what's the most interesting part of my life, my life kind of my whole life has been interesting. It's been interesting because I also just did what I wanted to do my whole life. When I said I want to be in music, thank God I got to be in music. I was very good at what I did. I was very good at recognizing talent. At another point in my life, I went down a terrible road of drugs and alcohol that lasted for a very, very long period of my life. And then I got clean and sober about 13 years ago. And during that period of time, I was drinking and drugging. I did not pay attention to my life. I was a mess. And I acquired HIV. And at one point in the early 90s, I got full-blown AIDS. And I was very, very sick. I was on my sofa for about 1 year. And I kept vomiting and shitting. And I was skinny, skinny, skinny. It was a terrible, terrible time because there was no medication, no official FDA-approved medication. So I had an incredible doctor, and she took great, great care of me. I didn't want to go to the hospital because I knew if I went to the hospital, I would die. That was just how I felt. So I was really sick for a long, long time until medication came along. And I took it, and I started to get better. And then I went back to work, and I was very, very skinny. But, you know, thank God I was getting better. Fast forward to this day, I don't drink or drug at all. It's October was 12 years. This October will be 13 years. I just turned in October 60 years old. And I know I don't look 60 years old.
No way.
And so I don't know. I'm just kind of grateful that I wake up every day. And I'm grateful that because I'm clean and sober, a company asked to make a movie about me. And because I'm clean and sober, a little book company said, would you make a book and tell us stories? So the book, almost similar to the movie, is about 25 years in music, addiction, recovery, HIV, my mom, and gratitude. And I had to end the book with gratitude because I'm grateful that I wake up every day. Like I'm sure everybody, you need to be grateful that you wake up every day. And for me, my health is excellent. So I know that was probably like a long version of answering your question.
Yeah, it's all right.
Interesting. I don't know. Like all parts of my life have been interesting for different reasons. So that's why I answer the questions as best I can. And then I tell people, go watch the movie. Go buy the book on Amazon.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So were there people here asking questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of them.
Yeah. Ken, help us.
Well, we're doing.
I'm back.
Hi. We're doing okay. I was just asking, were there people writing in or calling in, asking any kind of
Yes, there.
questions?
Yes, there are. and they're going to join us afterwards.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say.
Yes, definitely. So, also one thing I wanted to ask you is that let's keep all the negativity out of the show and out of our lives, basically. And it's all about positivity, and it's all about bringing light and sunshine to the life.
Sure.
And
I don't think I don't think so far we've been negative about anything, because I also don't want to negativity is not part of my life. We're just talking about life, and we're talking about music. So
right.
where do you want to go from here, Ken?
Yes. So I want to go to your live chats that you do on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
On Instagram Live, yes.
Exactly.
I only just started doing them, and they've been fun.
And I guess you're currently working on a poem called Quarantine Days. It's not days, D-A-Y-S, it's D-A-Z-E.
Right, because I feel like we are all going through this days of things where, people are also talking about this catchphrase, the new normal. We have no idea what the new normal is going to be. We're still in a space where people are contagious. We don't know anything about anything regarding the coronavirus. It's still in its infancy, and it's killing people. But to answer your question, yes, I'm working on a poem right now called Quarantine Days. I'm just going to keep writing it and adding to it the same way that I wrote a poem recently called Spring is Here. And so is the coronavirus. So I've just been keeping myself as creative as possible. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ken.
No. It's okay. Completely. It's your show.
I just answered your question. I don't have enough of the poem to read it to you right now, but
exactly. I wanted that.
I could read to you "The Spring Is Here" if you want.
Please.
Sure.
Wait a minute. And I have my pants on. Do you believe the other day somebody said to me, "Oh, we're going to do your interview now, but wait, I'm going to get my pants." I said, "Excuse me, you have not had your pants on for this whole effing thing? You ain't that cute."
Pants on.
Pants on, honey.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
I know. The nerve. Oh, hold on one second. I'm coming back. I don't want to leave you here. And okay. I'm a mess, but okay. So yeah. So Quarantine Days, I'll probably try to finish it by Friday and read it on the Instagram Live. But I do have Spring is Here, which is a little long, but you can deal with it. Do you want me to read it?
Yes. You're reading.
Spring is here. So is the coronavirus. The sun rises. So does the pandemic. Keep your distance, at least 6 feet. Not ordinary, but necessary. Air filtration masks. Very sci-fi. Is this the new normal? The disease, COVID-19, has set its own timeline. God bless Dr. Fauci. Respect Governor Cuomo. Thank you, Madam Speaker. A salute to Cardinal Timothy Dolan. Thank you, Dr. Deborah Birx and Dr. Jerome Adams. Recover swiftly, Chris Cuomo. Rest in peace, Joe Diffie. Rest in peace, Dr. Goodrich. Rest in peace, Alan Merrill. Rest in peace, Hal Wilner. Rest in peace, John Prine. Rest in peace, Jason Hargrove. Rest in peace, Leilani Jordan. Rest in peace, Willem Burham. Rest in peace, Kevin Leva. Rest in peace, Patricia Bosworth. Rest in peace, Sergio Rossi. Rest in peace, Tom Dempsey. Rest in peace, David Driscoll. Rest in peace, Vincent Leone. Rest in peace, Caius Kelly. Skagit Valley, Choral Group, 45 Positive, 2 dead. Lord have mercy. Getting tested, hunting positives, eerily feels like the 80s AIDS virus. You are not alone until you are alone. With love, let's become better citizens. Pray for our angels, doctors and nurses, everyone on the front lines. Give them all the PPP needed. Find strength where you can. Give me back my optimism. Shame on you, Mr. President. Sad but true. Keep the faith. Be angry. Be loving. Hurting. Learning. Teaching. Testing. Testing. Testing our humanity. Spring is here.
Wow. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was really amazing.
That finally had a beginning, a middle, and an end to it. So now I want to kind of work on quarantine days and see what that comes out like.
We'd love to hear it, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I have sure everyone here just liked it because you're so inspiring. You're just like incredible. All you've done, it's just incredible. Your history of life is just incredible, and it's a pleasure to make part of it and talk to you and know a little bit more about you. It's just incredible.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And, people always have these like funny names for me, like, oh, you're an icon, you're a legend. Well, that's all it's all very nice, but I'm just a hard worker. I really am. I'm a very hard worker. And I'm just here to spread the good word, whatever that good word is, to have faith in yourself, to love music, art, theater, everything. I just, for so many years, I struggled, and thank God I don't really struggle anymore. I just try to stay as positive as possible. And we had somebody named Joe just on, and they said they're following me on Instagram. So Joe, I think B was the last name. Thank you for following me on Instagram.
Joe Bashir.
Yes, Joe Bashir.
Joe Bashir. Shout out to Joe Bashir.
Hello, Joe Bashir.
Yeah.
He also says
Michael is here too. JD Nation.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Joe. There is a beautiful picture of my mom in the book, but also on the back of the book, that's me and my mom. Oops. Wait, what am I doing? Okay. From Brooklyn in 1960. when I was 2 years old. And there is my sweet mother.
This is my sweet grandmother.
2 years. Wait a minute. 2 years before she passed away. Hello, sweet grandmother. Anyway, so yeah, there's lots of good pictures from family and from rock and roll in my book. I am Michael Alago on Amazon.com.
Wow.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah. Whoa. She said, by the way, hello for you. It's just that she don't speak English, so yeah.
We give her a big hug and a kiss.
Okay.
from 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's not just 6, actually. Brazil to New York. Oh God.
Oh yes, wonderful.
Yeah. Can you put the comments on the screen?
Yes, I'm going to make it open for the audience now.
Oh, wonderful. Good.
Share the link so that they can join us. And before I do that, I really want to do this because I know Michael can do it. Michael, I'm a crazy fan of Kirk Hammett. And I started using this little pick here because of him, because he uses the jazz picks.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if I know you can do this, I really want you to say a hi from me to Kirk Hammett.
I don't talk to him often these days. He's mostly in Hawaii. The band is trying to work from separate places on some new music, but given the chance, I certainly will, and it will be with my pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, so now we'll make it open for the audience. I'll share the link. You guys can join us too, and I'll share your
But
comments.
while they don't come, put on the comments on the screen so we can read it.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. And he left. Okay.
Good.
So I have a question. It's a bit off topic, but Michael, what were you like as a kid?
Sure. Oh, hello, Mike Fasano, darling. How are you? What was I like as a kid? I liked to be alone. I liked to sit on the front stoop of my house where we lived, and I would sit on the steps, and I had a little portable record player, and I bought lots of 45 records, you know, small records, 7-inch records, and I would just sit and listen to music all the time. Yeah, I became crazy, and I became more curious when I was about 15 or 16 years old. I just had a curiosity about what was outside of my neighborhood. And that's when I picked up the newspaper, The Village Voice, and that's when I just started going out, hearing music at a very early age. And I did all of that too, all by myself. I never felt a need to have to do that with people. So I guess as a kid, I was curious. I was quiet until I wasn't quiet anymore. And I was just always curious about music and art and theater.
It's crazy to think that you were quiet because
I know.
now you're not like quiet.
Believe it or not. Do you like Michael Jackson? Well, I like the music. I love the song "Man in the Mirror." I love, you know, Bad and Thriller and all that stuff is extraordinary music. You know, people have, when you're that famous, people will always have things to say about you, whether we know them to be true or not. Another story for another day. Yes, I love the music of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so Rebecca and I, we both sing. We are both artists. You know, we draw like every form of art, and like as singers, how do we actually like start our career? Like,
Well, I mean,
some advances.
yes, of course. Well, I think the first thing is, if you write songs, you have to put them on a demo tape. And if you make a demo tape, you have to figure out how to get it out into the world. I think, a lot of things these days are DIY, do it yourself. So, young people like yourselves, you make a demo tape. If the demo tape is good enough, you share it with people. If you're serious about wanting to do music, then in this world, in this world that we live in, this social media world, you have to have a page. You have a page of letting people know who you are as an artist. You have a page that talks about yourself a little bit and maybe the type of music that you want to do. Maybe at some point, even with no money, you make a video of whatever your best song is. And, like I said, in this coronavirus times when we actually can't get together, we have to do all this stuff like this. So you make a page, you go to YouTube, you go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, you're on social media all the time, letting people know about you and your work. I mean, that's the simplest way to start all of this. If you're a singer and you have songs, put them on a tape. If they're any good at all, someone will recognize that greatness.
Yeah.
Or we have a guest, and I'm gonna bring him on.
Okay.
Hey, Michael, how you been?
Hi, Andy. I'm fine, thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling you from Mississauga in Ontario, Canada.
Get the hell out of here. But wait, what's with all the professional stuff? Do you have a show yourself?
Oh, no, really. It's I'm a musician myself too.
Okay.
And yeah, I use this one for recording and doing that kind of fun stuff.
Oh, marvelous. Well, nice to see you here. And I don't know if you had a question or something. Do you play in a band?
I do play in a band, and I have actually 2 questions for you.
Please.
One for me as an artist, so I can get some insight, but the other one's a more personal question towards you. I'm gonna start off by saying I'm a huge Metallica fan. I caught this one at the last concert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And well, my questions for you is, how do you listen to music? And aside from like your ears, do you have like a preferred way, like high-end studio monitors, or just listening to music on a car, or just headphones?
Well, you know, I love music. I don't care what it comes out of. I have these wonderful, it's too short, the cord. These Harman Kardon speakers for my computer. Inside the living room, I have these 2, they're vintage by this time, Yamaha NS10 studio monitors. They're black. They're only about this big. But I remembered when I was mastering records, when I came home, I would always love listening to them on the studio monitors. So I don't know. That's how I listen to music these days, on the computer because I have good speakers, and in the living room because I have good speakers.
Nice. Are those Yamaha ones the ones with the white cone to it?
No, it's black on black. It's Yamaha NS10.
Nice. Well, I love listening to my music really loud too. Really get into it.
Oh, good.
My question for me to help me out as an artist.
Sure.
It's, how does an A&R know the difference between a band that knows it's gonna be taking over the world compared to a band that is not so good? How do you define which band is gonna make it?
Well, I did A&R for 25 years. I had to learn that to hone my listening skills to a very narrow place because there was a lot of good music out there. For me, I didn't want to be involved with good. Good would take over my life. So I had to figure out who was great. And my skills are real. My skills are good. And I just always felt like I knew when I was hearing greatness or when I was seeing an artist who had a certain charisma on stage, like James Hetfield, like Rob Zombie. I just kind of felt like, wow, I think these people have it. You know, I listen for songs that have universal appeal. Like, is this kind of material going to sit well with an audience out there? And, you know, it's all about taking chances. You're taking chances making your music. I'm taking a chance signing an artist. And signing an artist doesn't mean it's always going to work. You know, I've made a couple of records where I thought, oh my God, this is going to be huge. Nobody bought the record. But thank God that didn't happen to me often because I would have lost my job.
Exactly. You have a track record of signing amazing bands.
Well,
so.
I do my best. Yeah. I do my best. And, you know, for me, prior to signing an artist, I listen to all their songs. I hear what they're like. I go see them live. Live is very important to me because they could be nothing on stage. Mm-hmm. And then other times they could just wipe the floor with you and just be super fantastic, like Rob Zombie, you know? So I don't know. Did that answer your question?
That answered it like 100 times over. So I know that if I really want to get out there, I need to be the great.
You need to be as great as you can be. Whatever great means to you. Mm-hmm. And you always must put your best foot forward. Because if you are out there in a live situation, maybe I'm in the audience, maybe another A&R person is in the audience, or a publisher, or a marketing person, or a manager. And, you know, I always tell people, if you're serious about what you do, then you must do it no matter what. No matter what. And, you know, if you have no money, go in the backyard with your band and put up a camera. It's all about feeling. I never liked anything that was technically perfect. Mm-hmm. Anything for me that's technically perfect is just like, I get no feeling from technically perfect. Mm-hmm. I like things where there are mistakes. I like things that feel human. So, you know, like I said, if you're out there, put your best foot forward. If you have no money, somebody has $1, you know, whatever. Put the camera there, play your best song, put it on all social media, because that's the way of the world these days, whether you like it or not.
So interesting. So rock and roll is not about perfection.
Oh, never. I mean, wait, if you're in the studio, you want to be as
tight as possible.
Right. As perfect as possible in the studio. But, you know, when you listen to AC/DC, you know, that's raw and in your face and has guts and feeling. But in the studio, it has that. But, you know, you got to make these records sound perfect.
Exactly.
But it has nothing to do with perfection, if you ask me.
Wow, that pretty much solves so many like mysteries and enigmas I had inside of me.
Well, you know what?
Clear out a lot of things.
Keep it simple as possible, and just get the work done.
Okay, with my best foot forward.
Always with your best. Anything in life, your best foot forward, so that people know who you are.
Perfect. I'm gonna take that as life advice, not only music advice. But thank you.
It has to do with life. Yes, of course. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Oh, Mike Fasano is on here with us. Can all of us see Mike? Yamaha NS10 means natural sound. A lot of speakers are now overhyped with a lot of brass, etc. The speakers are very natural sounding when you are referring stuff that you are recording. Absolutely. Thank you, Mike Fasano, who I've only just started to get to know. And you know, it's like, that's one of those things. You already know whether you like somebody or you don't like somebody. My world is very black and white. And, you know, I like them or I don't like them. I like Mike. And like I said, there's good and there's great. I only want to be involved with great. Next question.
All right. Hey, Michael. How are you doing?
Get Mike's. Okay, there you go. Hi, is this Abby?
Yes.
Hi, Abby.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Question for you. I don't know if it's been asked, but Stefan went long today. Can we expect the book on audiobook?
Oh my God, I would love to do an audiobook because it would be funny. But you know what? My book just came out on March 25th. Oops.
Perfect.
And it's called I Am Michael Alago, Breathing Music, Signing Metallica, Beating Death. And it's on Amazon.com. I would love to do an audiobook. A lot of the people at my publishing company, some are working from home, some are not working from home. Some have lost their jobs, some have not lost their jobs. So I would love to do it. And maybe if they don't want to do it, I'll have to do it independently on my own.
I would buy that in a heartbeat. I'm going to buy the book, but I'd buy that in a heartbeat just to hear you tell the stories over and over. I love you. Like,
oh, well, thank you so much. I totally appreciate that.
I've been to New York once. To New York City. I've been to the state a couple times, and like all of my thoughts, like if I could put New York City into a person, it would be you. Like the energy, your energy. So on that note, I had a second question. What do you do? What does your downtime look like? What are your hobbies? Because I know when I went to New York City, it was so overwhelming at a certain point that you just step over into Central Park and it was like
serenity.
Yes. So what is that for you? What is your Central Park?
Oh, that's a good one. So here we are, most of us in these quarantine times. So for me, I never mind being alone. So I am alone all the time in my apartment now. And I am on podcasts and radio interviews like this for my book. I am making collages. I'm writing poems. I am starting to read books again. I wasn't able to focus for a long time, so I've been reading a lot of magazine articles. But I'm a person who doesn't know about about downtime except when I'm sleeping. So I'm doing interviews. I'm trying to read books. I'm making collages. I'm writing poems. And sometimes I do kind of sit quietly on my terrace and I face south And facing south, there's a very empty 8th Avenue. And then right in front of me is the World Trade Center, which is a beautiful sight in itself. So that is a serene moment for me. That's like a bit of downtime, if you're asking that question.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you can find that, because if I could just bottle you into a coffee, like, it'd be perfect. Be in business.
I'm only one person, but you know, I love doing these podcasts. And you know, if you don't know already, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I do all this live stuff on Instagram.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for answering my question.
Bless you. Stay safe. Stay home.
I am.
Take good care of yourself.
Well, you too, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it looks like I'll just read.
Joe Bashir, you have a lot of cool T-shirts. Which is your favorite? Oh, you know, honey, I have about 500 T-shirts that I've not thrown away, and I wear the same 20 T-shirts all the time. So if it's not a Metallica T-shirt, it's support live music. It's a band that I've loved for the last 2 years called Ether Coven. I don't know. There's no favorite. I just throw on what feels good, and most of the T-shirts are black.
Hi.
Sonia, you're upside down like a bat. Are you a bat?
No, but you know, I'm just kidding. Is it still backward? Is it still upside down?
You're upside down.
I don't understand. Wait,
Up,
what?
up, up. Now you're sideways. You're almost there. What are you doing?
It fell. Is it okay now? I don't understand.
There you
how it's
go.
working.
Don't move.
I'm not moving. Okay,
Hello,
so
Sonia.
hi. How are you?
Oh, pretty
How was
good,
your
thank you.
You are very inspirational. I've been listening to your, like, the way that you talk, and just, like, you're very out there, like, because you want to get, like, your word in. Like, it's very, like, yeah, just inspirational. And I just have, like, 2 questions. Well, just one, maybe, because
Sure.
probably. So what is your just thoughts on what's going on, just, like, in the world, like, just anything like environmental changes or just animal rights or just, you know, presidential politics? Like, what is just your take on that? And
I rarely talk about politics with people because that gets you into trouble. I don't like our president at all. I think he's a clinical narcissist who doesn't care about anybody but himself. I don't eat meat. I stopped eating meat about, I don't know, I get confused, 6 or 7 years ago. I don't do that for ethical reasons, and I don't do that because my GI tract, I was not able to digest that kind of food anymore. So I just don't do it. I eat as healthy as I can. We're living in a very trying time right now where we're quarantined. I think being quarantined is unnatural, but necessary. You know, I was talking earlier about, you hear about people who are sick on Wednesday and they're dead on Monday. You know, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. You know, some people think the media exaggerate. I don't know if the media exaggerate, but they do say the same things over and over again. And I think sometimes it's necessary just to get into people's thick skulls. But, you know, I just... I said this earlier, I just kind of make the most of this time. I make the most of this time because I'll be shameless. I have a book out called I Am Michael Alago, Breathing Music, Signing Metallica, Beating Death. It's on Amazon.com. I make the most of this by doing radio interviews, podcasts, making collages, writing poems, and sometimes just sitting on my terrace, reflecting and being quiet with myself. Did I lose everybody here? Oh, there you are. Did I lose everybody else on this podcast? Like, where are they? I think it's just you and I. Oh,
we are here. Don't worry.
So, Rebecca, just I don't mind, but how long do you go on for?
And Almedina.
No, it's actually
No, we're about that. We're about that.
Like a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we do naturally 1 hour of show.
Yeah.
But if you want to say something else or something like that,
I have a few more minutes. I didn't know if was it Sonia? Did I answer your question, Sonia? I hope I did. Oh, there you are. I hope I answered your questions.
Yes, you did.
Okay. And also, you know, I tell people that I'm on Instagram Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And it's like expect the unexpected. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Sometimes it's about music. Sometimes it's about addiction. Sometimes it's about art. So anything can happen on Instagram with me.
Well,
was there
Abby just said like P.S. Michael, yesterday was my 1 year sober anniversary. Thank you for talking about your sobriety. That's pretty cool. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. People get sober when they're tired of themselves, when their behavior might be bad. And you know what? I had an addiction problem, so I didn't know how to have one beer. I like 6 beers, 6 vodkas, 6 Jägermeisters, and then I have no idea what's going on. I think when, you know, you have a problem with alcohol, just cut it out. Cut it out. You become a clearer person up here. And when you're a clear person, you show up for life. And when you show up for life, people know that they can rely on you. And isn't that a wonderful thing for people to know that you are there for them and they are there for you? Sometimes it's as simple as that, but we complicate everything.
Indeed,
yeah, that's true. I mean, some people, like from my family or friends and stuff, they are addicted to alcohol, and that's really bad because I just wanted them like to try something, you know, like try to get out of it and work a little bit to see if they can do it, and they can. They can. It's just you need to say to yourself, "I can do it. I can do it." And
well, I've learned over the years you cannot fix anybody. They have to help themselves. And when people ask for help, there's always help out there for people. So you have to remember that. Was there yet another question that the audience has? And then in about 7 minutes at 3:15, I gotta go. My voice is starting.
No, we're about that.
It's okay. It's okay. My voice is starting to hurt a little bit. So I want to just
it's okay.
It's okay. So I don't know if there's more questions. I don't know.
Joe,
watching IGW, starting to read your book tonight. Thanks a lot, Joe. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
Any other questions out there? No?
In the comments are clear.
We are.
Co-hosts.
Wait. What's happening here?
We're trying to see if Mike Fasano can come in too. Maybe he has some question or not. I don't know. And Abby just said I was tired of feeling tired. Tired of wasting my weekends. Yeah. Well, that's.
Let me say this. This episode has been so inspirational, first of all, and I really want to thank Michael Alago for coming on and giving us his valuable time. Thank you so much for doing that, Michael.
Oh, well, my pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and we love you, and we love everything you do, and we support you. And I want to, on behalf of everyone, I want to thank you for being you.
Well,
yes.
I don't know how to be anybody else but me, and you have to take it or leave it. And you know, I don't know. I'm just here to inspire people. You know, everyone should feel inspired at some point in their life. So if we're going to be all inspired today, great that we had a great time together here, and that maybe when we hang up, you know, you're both going to write a song. I don't know, Ken, what the heck you're going to do with yourself after this. I'm going to.
I play guitar.
What? Oh, you
guitar.
play music together? Oh, you play guitar. Well, then play your guitar and be inspired. I'm going to have some more tea. I'm going to eat something. And I don't know of anything from there. And if the sun is shining, it's very beautiful out. So
I'm going to sleep.
You want to sleep? Okay, go to sleep. And wait, what time is it where you are?
For me, it's 4:10 p.m. So it's
I thought you were going to say in the morning. Oh, yeah. Oh, so we're only an hour difference with each other.
Oh, no.
We are all
really.
3 continents.
It's 12:40 a.m. for me.
Oh, well, that's not too late.
9 p.m. here. Yeah.
And wait, where are you, Funky Almedina?
I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's in Europe.
Wow. So we're not close.
Four parts of the world coming together.
Oh, wait, it is Tuesday there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday everywhere that we're talking to each other, just different times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I guess for Ken, it's not. It's already.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, technically, like you're half hour into Wednesday or something. Okay, listen, I gotta go.
Sure.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
so
me.
much.
Thank you for all the
Thank you
good
so
questions. I hope I see all of you again somewhere on social media, of course, because that's the way of the world. While we're in this quarantine times, if you have to go out and use masks, use gloves, get that sanitizer going. It's serious, but don't be afraid. Just be cautious. That's it. You got to be cautious.
Yes.
That's all. Be cautious and continue doing what you love with your life. And, you know, all good things will happen. You know, it may not be perfect because life is not perfect. But, you know, when you're out there and you do what you want to do and what you believe in, a version of that's going to happen for you. And that's the beautiful part of it all.
That's true. Andy just said something.
Yeah.
Michael, speak Spanish, papi.
Who said that?
Andy.
Okay, well, hi, Andy.
Oh gosh. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. You know, we are just beginners to like doing something. We're trying to enjoy it, and it's just crazy. We're getting people like you on the show. It's
wonderful.
It's a pleasure.
We're learning something every day. When your mind, your ears, your eyes, when everything is open to the possibilities, you learn something. There's a great poet. Her name was Maya Angelou, and she wrote a book called I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing. It's one of the first of 40 books that she wrote. And she said, when you learn, teach. And when you give, when you get, give. Simple words, but extraordinary.
Powerful.
Yes, that's true.
I guess on that note, we'll be signing off. And
thank you so much, all of you. I appreciate
it.
Okay. See you again. Okay. Bye-bye.
Joining us, and thank you for watching, all of you.
Ciao for now.
And see you on the next week on the VoiceIT Show, episode 4. See you.
Good luck with everything. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys.